Benny with Doug's Garage Technician. He's going to talk to us about this, is it what, a Cooltech? Tell us what this machine, its technical name is.
This is just a refrigerant recovery and recharge machine, basically. It's got a vacuum pump in it, and we can recover the Freon out of a car without having to actually vent it to the atmosphere. And then it's got another vacuum pump in it where we can evacuate the entire air conditioning system, get all the air and moisture out of the system, and then a big tank of Freon on it. It can actually charge the proper amount of Freon by weight that the cars are supposed to have.
Okay, and what does all that mean to the lay person that's wondering if their air conditioning is up to snuff and whether or not to bring it in?
Well, if your air conditioner is not cooling, that's the first thing we check for, is does it have the proper amount of Freon in it. On the older cars, they used to have what they called a sight glass, and you could kind of look down in the glass and see a little foggy smoke go by if the Freon was low. These cars don't have anything like that now, and the only way to know that they've got the proper amount of Freon in it is to recover everything that's in it and see how much that is by weight, and then what the proper charge is. And if its proper charge is supposed to be 1.5 pounds of Freon, and we only take 1 pound out, even though the system may be trying to cool a little bit, it's 30% low. And then we can come back here using this over on this side and program in to put 1.5 pounds of Freon by weight back in the car, and it'll have the proper Freon that it's supposed to have. Because if you get it undercharged on Freon, the Freon flowing through the system is also what moves the lubricating oil through the refrigerating system. And if it gets low on Freon, even though it's cool inside, it may not be flowing oil to lubricate your compressor properly. If you get it too much Freon in it, what usually happens is these pressures here at 200 pounds on a good system can sometimes exceed 350 or 400 pounds, which can break hoses, force compressors to work too hard. So you got to be pretty precise on how much Freon actually goes into the car.
So you mentioned clients bringing their car in if their system's not cooling well. Is there a certain mileage or maintenance type?
Not really. There's not really a maintenance on it either. As long as it's got the proper Freon in it and it's cooling, you have to kind of assume everything's in good shape. But if you ever have any issues, like it cools fine in the morning, but in the heat of the day it may not be quite as cold as you think it should be or something like that, that's your clue to get it at least checked.
Okay. And so can you show us what you've got it hooked up to inside?
Okay, well, there's 2 hoses. One's low side, that's this lower pressure gauge here, and the other one's high side, that's a higher pressure. And what it is the compressor pumps Freon, liquid Freon with heat, and it becomes a liquid. It's pushed under pressure into this condenser in the front, and then that brings the temperature down some, and you get a good clean liquid flow up to here, and that's the high side pressure.
Okay.
At this point, if you see this little gap right here, there's a little tube in here that actually meters the Freon.
Okay.
And then you can see where the line's starting to sweat because it's cold back here. And what it's doing is spraying liquid Freon through a real tiny little hole, and that Freon actually turns to a steam. And when it turns to a steam, it absorbs heat.
Okay.
And that's what's going in. Is cold. If you grab it, you can see this is probably, I'd say it's probably in the 30-degree range.
Oh, wow.
Going in. And when the system's full, it's coming out.
Yeah.
Should be coming back out cold. And then inside the car is another radiator that's chilled down to 30, 40 degrees. And then you have the air blowing across that. It's where it picks up the cool to blow it up inside the car.